You ever get threatened with a gun by your HOA president? Yeah, that actually happened my first week in Riverside Estates. Picture this. My wife Elena and I barely unpacked at her late grandma's cabin. Police lights flashing out front and this woman Deborah Pierce standing there screaming at my wife to get the hell off my HOA property or I'll have you forcibly removed at gunpoint. I hadn't even finished hauling the moving boxes inside. And already this was the welcome committee. And let me tell you, 20 minutes after she threatened us, it was Deborah who got pale as a ghost because a federal agent served her an actual eviction notice. You want to guess what flipped the script so fast? Go ahead, drop a comment because the real answer is stranger than fiction. See, this all started 6 months back when Elena inherited the place from her grandma, Rosa. Sweetest old lady you'd ever meet. Left us this log cabin right on the river. Massive oaks and the kind of view that should have meant peace and quiet. We daydreamed for months about bringing our kids Ryan and Sophia out here escaping the city, giving them a slice of real life. I'm a construction engineer. Can't look at a deck without redesigning it in my head. And Elena's got a mind for money, so she was already plotting out the investment side. We barely made it 37 minutes before Deborah Pierce stormed across the street, arms full of legal pads, a mini printer dangling off her shoulder, one of those QR scanners. She kept waving around like a badge. She didn't introduce herself, just announced, "You're illegally occupying Riverside Estates as HOA land." She even pointed at our cabin like it was condemned. I looked over at Elena. She was shifting into that battle-ready mode I'd only ever seen when tax season hit. I tried to keep things civil. We have a deed. Elena inherited this. All legit. Deborah just smiled, cold as January, and pulled out a document with Rose's signature and some official-looking notary stamp. But Elena, ever the bloodhound for bad math, noticed the Pierce legal watermark at the bottom. "You notarized your own HOA land transfer?" she asked, her tone slicing right through Deborah's armor. Deborah doubled down, waving her scanner, insisting the QR codes proved it was all real. "Digital verification is the future of property law," she said, patting her printer like it was a puppy. My son, Ryan, who's 14 and allergic to adult nonsense, couldn't take it. "You can't just show up with paperwork and take someone's house. That's what criminals do." Deborah glared daggers at him. Made my blood boil. My daughter Sophia. 10 whispered, "Are we in trouble? Are bad people going to hurt our family?" That hit harder than anything. Elena knelt down, fierce and gentle, and promised nobody bullies this family. She stood up and told Deborah, "I have experience with financial fraud. Conversations over until you get a real lawyer." Turns out Deborah's paper games were just the tip of the iceberg. Next morning, I woke to 17 emails, urgent illegal occupancy notice, all CC'd to half the block. Deborah was spinning us as squatters warning of emergency community intervention. Elena's hands were shaking as she sipped her coffee. The kids sensed the tension. Ryan Ever, the digital detective, had already dug up Facebook threads about Deborah running people out. Around noon, she launched a group chat, Riverside Property Protection. Suddenly, the whole neighborhood was getting updates, photos of our moving truck, our kids' suspicious new arrivals. I felt like I was living in some warped episode of Deline. Desperate for allies, I took a walk and met Hal Martinez, 72, gardening next door. When I mentioned Rosa and Deborah, his face darkened. "She's done this before. 3 families all gone overnight." He wouldn't say more, just kept his head down. Later, Jennifer Walsh, single mom from down the block, confided in me Deborah had been photographing her house, harassing her son for playing outside. Jennifer showed me text threats after she questioned the HOA fees. No one had seen any landscaping improvements, Deborah kept promising. Elena spent that night surrounded by documents, jittery with nerves. "Mark, why need a security camera and your trust? This is bigger than Deborah." So, I started digging. Used Elena's phone to scan Deborah's so-called deed. The timestamp was off, created 2 days after Grandma Rosa passed away. Backdated to look legit. I showed Elena. She got this ice-cold look, called someone Agent Martinez. "It's time to accelerate." The next morning, she was all business, scanning documents, comparing bank records, checking shell company databases. I finally blurted out, "What's going on?" She took a breath and came clean. Elena wasn't just a former financial analyst. She'd been working undercover for the FBI's Financial Crimes Division, and Grandma Rosa was an informant. Left us the cabin so Elena could investigate from the inside. I'll be honest, I felt blindsided, but I got why she hid it. Deborah's operation was massive money-laundering fake companies' threats. She'd laundered $18 million across multiple states. That afternoon, Elena got a call from Agent Martinez. Deborah knows who you are. How fast can you get the evidence? Elena said, we need to push her. Make her panic so she exposes everything. She showed me files. 23 families, millions stolen, kids scared, seniors ruined. Ryan overheard us and asked, are we like secret agents now? Elena told the kids everything. Yes, she worked with the FBI, and yes, Deborah was the real threat. Sophia just wanted to help other kids not be scared. Ryan wanted to help set up backup recording devices just in case. By the next morning, Elena's plan was in full swing. She made a show of calling lawyers, dropping hints about federal evidence, talking loud enough for Deborah to overhear. Deborah cracked multiple trips to her garage with boxes feeding paper into a shredder, having heated arguments with Big Tony, her muscle. Then Jennifer finally went public, posting in the group chat about her dog being poisoned, her car vandalized after asking about HOA fees. Suddenly, other neighbors chimed in stories of threats, intimidation, mysterious accidents. Hal came through, too. He'd kept copies of everything. Fake notices, forged signatures, shady transactions. Elena scheduled a meeting with a real estate lawyer in plain sight. Spread word through Jennifer and Hal about smoking gun evidence. Deborah Spiral sent us a fake federal eviction notice. Elena laughed. This is a Canva template printed at FedEx. Ryan helped set up more recording gear. That night, Elena got the message, all units in position. Execute final phase tomorrow. Sunrise brought a strange calm, but you could feel the storm brewing. Elena suited up, checked her wire, told me, stay calm. Let me do the talking. Ryan upstairs, recording everything. Sophia safe at Hal's house. At 9:15, Deborah marched over Big Tony and 2 goons in tow, plus a twitchy guy with a clipboard. You're being evicted under the National Property Security Act, Deborah announced for the whole neighborhood. Elena, cool as ice, asked, show me the federal statute, please. Deborah started to unravel, spouting nonsense about federal partnerships, then panicking as Elena revealed she'd been working with actual federal authorities. That's when Deborah called 911. There are armed trespassers threatening federal officers. Elena, grinning, called Agent Martinez. It's go time. Sirens approached, but these weren't the local cops. Federal agents and county deputies took over. Agent Martinez, all business, served Deborah with a real arrest warrant. You're under arrest for money laundering, racketeering, conspiracy, and making false statements to federal agents. Deborah tried waving her stack of fake documents like she could just rewrite reality by flapping enough paper. Neighbors poured out. Jennifer was crying. Hal just shook his head, relieved. Big Tony, seeing the badges, turned on Deborah faster than you could blink. Martinez announced all the charges. 12 shell companies, 15 million in recovered assets. Multiple co-conspirators facing arrest. Deborah was loaded into a federal SUV, still shrieking about property values and conspiracies. Martinez handed her a real asset seizure order. Deborah's own house gone. And just like that, Riverside Estates started to wake up. Block parties laughed, neighbors talking again. Hal became the new HOA president. This time, the real kind, with transparency audits and background checks. Jennifer ran the books. Deborah got 18 years, no parole. Tony testified, got a reduced sentence. The money got returned to the victims' families who thought they'd lost everything. Elena got promoted to lead a new federal task force. Our vacation turned into the first chapter of Operation Clean Sweep. Turns out Deborah's scheme was just one of many across the country, copycat criminals running the same playbook. You know what I mean. One day you're moving boxes, the next you're living inside a Netflix crime docu-series, except it's your life on the line. The media ate it up. Elena on the news, property values actually rising. The best part, a letter from a family in Oregon. You gave us hope that justice is possible. But just when you think the movie's over, a note arrives. No return address, just a warning. Your interference cost us $50 million. You're now a priority target. Elena, unfazed, said, "Bring it on." So, I'll ask you, have you ever faced down a bully with real power? Would you fight back if your family's safety and your whole community were on the line? Drop your thoughts in the comments. What would you have done? Where's the line between playing it safe and standing up for what's right? Because if this story proves anything, it's that sometimes the only thing stopping the bad guys is an ordinary family willing to risk everything for justice. Also give, like, subscribe, share to the healing story.